Hey guys, Lord here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Mattel Wal-Mart exclusive WWE Superstars Undertaker. Now before we get into it here, let's first take a look-see at both the front
and the back of the packaging. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now before we get into the meat and taters of this review, the Undertaker comes with a pair of open hands so he can smack you across the face if you talk back to him. And I don't know about you, but I sure as heck wouldn't want to talk back to good old Undertaker here. That said, he also comes with an interchangeable fist hand for the left side and a secondary grip hand for the right side. Kind of surprised we didn't just get two fists, considering he is packaged with two very well done grip hands, might I add. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you do get the, well, it's kind of a thumbs up hand too, isn't it? But if you're familiar with Motu Origins or the Masters of WWE Eternia line, you're familiar with those hands. That said, that's your lot. No comic, no file card, no little insert behind him or anything like that. You just get the Taker. So, taking a closer look at the Taker. That was redundant. Very well done figure. Mine has a little bit of a loose crotch peg, but nothing some super glue won't fix. Hopefully. If not, well then there's a crap load of these up here and I'll just replace the darn thing, won't I? That said, you can pop his hat off. See his mug there. Not an ugly mug. I think the Undertaker, for a wrestler, he's not a bad looking fella. He's kind of scary looking, but I don't think he's a bad looking fella. Putting that hat back on. It will actually fit on the older WWE Eternia Undertaker, for those of you wondering. And if you pop that figure's armor off, you can also put this coat over top of it. The elbow pad on the one side does not get in the way. So that is pretty freaking cool. That said, he does have some different grip hands, and I'll actually pop them off so you can get a better idea what we're looking at here. Now, I don't know if these are from the actual, elites and basic wrestling figures Mattel does, but look at the thumb on this hand. Notice how it's curved inward? Yeah, he's not going to be dropping anything. Granted, he doesn't come with anything to hold, which, other than maybe a shovel or something, I don't know what the Undertaker would hold. Maybe his urn. But wasn't that carried out by the little chubby guy? What's his name? Paul Bear? So I'm not sure what the Undertaker would hold necessarily, especially since there's not even a ring for these guys to beat each other up in yet. Kind of surprising, considering the Motu line, after, what, 2 waves? We already had 2 rings, in this line we're, what, 3 waves deep and no ring? That seems kind of weird. But it does have a thumb that is curved inward, so anything you put in his hand is more than likely going to stay in there. That said, if you want to take the coat off, which I will do this, mostly because we've seen these parts before. It's just Motu Origins / WWE Eternia parts. Nothing really new here. All you got to do is pop the hands off and the coat will slide off here. I'll take that hat off because it's just going to fall off anyways. But if you're vigilant about it, you can easily take this coat off. It does have a tendency to get caught on the hair in the elbow joints, so just be aware of that. But there is the Taker, complete with a tie and no hands. And it should also be worth noting, can pull the tie off as well. Put the head back on. There you have your classic, super classic style Undertaker, complete with gray gloves and boots. Kinda wish we got the glove sculpt, because his gloves do go all the way up to his elbows just about. And not only this design, but when he had the purple gloves, which is how I remember him. The purple gloves, he had more of a goatee going on, his hair was a lot straighter and longer. That's kind of the Undertaker I think of when I think of Undertaker, but this is the very first, early days Undertaker. I think he also had a Phantom of the Opera mask at some point, if I'm not mistaken, but Look, see at him. He is just a standard, Motu Origins buck. Nothing crazy there. I don't know if he's got his tats on his arm. I noticed the Papa Shango is covered with tats. Not sure if he's got his tats on his arm or not. But he does have the standard Origin style articulation. Double ball peg in the head that works really well. Move all around. Shoulders go out to the side. Back down. They do rotate all the way around. At a bit of an angle, but they do work. Elbows, nice and tight. Listen to that, dude. Now that's an elbow joint. Not too tight, but not too loose. It's got rotation, got swivel in the wrist with a hinge. He's got a waist swivel. That's kind of loose, but it is what it is. Hips can kick out to the side, back down, forward, and back. Again, he's got a little bobble down here, so I'm either going to have Mr. Brian, a.k.a. my dad, a.k.a. the old man, put some more super glue in there, or just get another one. Hopefully it doesn't have the same problem. With my luck, it probably will. At any rate, he does have a knee swivel and a hinge. Not the tightest thing ever. We've gotten a lot tighter in recent figures that use these parts, especially on this side. It's not that detented at all. There's no click like the elbows. Oh, this elbow doesn't have a click, but this one does. Kind of weird. But at any rate, it's not web store loose, but it's not the... what was the last Origins I looked at? Was it 2000X Skeletor, who has like the same legs? Anyway, he's got a boot cut. It works pretty well. He's got a hinge in the foot. It's just pretty hindered by the boot cuff here. Kind of goes around and just pretty much inhibits all movement. It does have a rocker in there, but again, you're not really going to get anything out of it. Maybe if you were to soften this up, you could probably pose it a little bit and warp it, but I'm not going to do that. He's got peg holes at the bottom of the feet too. But that's Undertaker in a nutshell. It's your traditional style Undertaker. Really cool. Not sure if he's my favorite or not, which is ironic because Undertaker, as far as a wrestler goes, is my favorite. But when I think of Undertaker, I think of the purple gloves and boots, and maybe we'll get that. But for right now, we just have the gray gloves and boots, which is fine. I think, I want to say, was it WWF In Your House, a video game for the PS1 for all you late 90s, early 2000s kids out there. He had the purple gloves and boots in that, but the Player 2 version had the gray gloves and boots, because I think in the late 90s an imposter Undertaker came out. It wasn't Kane, it was somebody else posing as an imposter taker or a fake taker or whatever they called him. And he wore the original getup, but looked pretty much the same as Undertaker at the time. This jacket's kind of being a pain in the butt to get on, I'm not gonna lie. I will say, you gotta kind of tug on it a little bit to get it over the shoulders here. There you go. Once you straighten the arms out like this, kind of helps push it all up in there. Now, where did I put that tie? There it is. But a really nice figure. Love the soft goods. For the price point, you can't really beat it, man. It's not too bad. Put the tie on like so. Pull the coat over top of it like so. It's practically a doll at this point. I'm undressing him and everything. Pop his head on. Go. And supposedly this guy is released like 6 per case, so he should be relatively easy to find. I know my local Walmarts have quite a few of these, and I think they actually just started getting the Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior as well. So don't go around thinking this is a chase figure just because you haven't found it yet. I'm sure he'll be available at some point. Fingers crossed. I know how distribution on Walmart exclusives is, because trust me, been there with the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Nightfall Batman and the Hasbro Marvel Legends 90s animated Spider-Man. I'm still looking for those, but the Taker here was pretty easy to find. McFarlane and Mattel exclusives are usually easy to find in my area. It's typically Hasbro stuff that's kind of a pain in the nuts, but at any rate, there he is, all decked out in his preacher garb once again. And side note, for those of you model car fans, there is a model from the 60s called the Undertaker, and on the box art, there is not just a vampire and a Grim Reaper character standing by the car, but also a guy dressed like the Undertaker. So very curious if Undertaker was inspired by that, because I do believe he is into cars and motorcycles and stuff. I mean, the American Badass phase is kind of obvious of that because he rode out on a motorcycle. Not my favorite, not gonna lie, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Classic Taker, and I think for a Classic Taker, this is a very well done figure for the price point. If you like the Motu aesthetic, then this is a must-have for you. This is a really nice figure. But with that being said, let's move on and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is the Undertaker alongside his Masters of the WWE Eternia counterpart, the Undertaker Scareglow mashup, which is still one of my favorite figures from that line. And if you are curious, as I said before, you can put the hat and coat from this new one on this Scareglow one and have a really awesome kit bash. I mean, I love this figure and all, but that armor covers up that cool ribcage deco on his torso, and if you just put the coat on him, you're able to expose that deco, and it really pops, especially when it's glowing in the dark. Really awesome. That said, we also have Kane from, again, the Masters of WWE Eternia line. Really curious if we'll see this guy in this new line, because, well, if you swap the arms and legs out, you pretty much have a classic Kane. You just got to repaint the head so it doesn't have the translucent hair, but I'd be down to see that. Not sure what they give him for soft goods, but maybe they could do something like the King Kane that they did for the, I don't know if it was All-Stars or Elites or whatever it was, Ultimate. I think it was an Ultimate release, because they did King Kane and they did the Ministry of Darkness Undertaker, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe they'll do that for this WWE Superstars line. I don't know, but if they make a Kane, I'm more than likely going to pick it up because, like Undertaker, he is one of my favorites. And last, but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legions, Brother Mandibulus, the Living Spawn, who as usual, towers over everyone. So with that being said, time to wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from the semi-floppy crotch pig on mine, because of course it has that, it's mine after all, for the price point, I think this is a really solid line of figures. Notice I said line, not just this figure, but the entire line. You get some soft goods, you get a fairly posable action figure, in my opinion, and you get some really cool extra stuff that you can use with your Masters of WWE Eternia figures if you're like me and are into kit bashing. I mean, I'm not into it hardcore, but this coat and hat look pretty sweet on the Scareglow Undertaker. Not gonna lie. Stay tuned to my Instagram. Maybe I'll post a pic of that because, again, it's pretty freaking sweet. But with that being said, if you are on the hunt for this figure, don't fret. He is shipping in a case of, I believe, 6 to 8 per. So he should be relatively easy to find at some point. Not sure why my area seems to be getting a lot of this guy and a lot of the Ultimate Warrior. Not so much of the Hulk Hogan, but the other two, there are plenty where I'm at. And typically my area is not the best when it comes to the Motu Origins Buck figures. I mean, we still got Buzz-Offs and Jitsus and Sorceresses and Party Time Stratoses up in here, unlike these WWE Superstars figures, which you could pretty much find most, if not all of, where I'm at. So, not quite sure what's up with that, but it is what it is, I suppose. Just be patient. I'm sure you'll find them eventually. Or you could send donations to the channel, and I could maybe hook you up. Maybe. You know who you are. If you're part of the cloth, you're able to do that. If not, well then, sorry? Question mark? So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you were so inclined, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one. If you haven't already, please hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is, especially when you got a case of the flop crotch. Probably want to see a doctor about that. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.